So, if a conflict arises between current scientific assertions and traditional interpretation of the Bible, we should take a deep breath and give our evangelical or other scholars time to address this issue, all the while having confidence that it is likely that traditional interpretations of Scripture, if it's carefully done, will eventually win the debate. So we stay the course, admit that as of now there is a conflict, and remain confident that we have good reasons to not revising our views. Again, just put yourself back, 50 years, 75 years, the idea of the universe being a solid state universe. And this is what all scientists agreed upon. This was the thing that the majority of scientists did. And so if you want to consistently be following and playing catch up to the latest scientific claims, then you're going to say, oh, well, the Bible gives us all these assumptions that the universe is the solid state that God has created in such a way that makes us be able to agree with our fellow scientists. Well, and then background radiation happens, and then the Big Bang model comes out. And again, you don't have to just latch on to the Big Bang model, but if you're then going to then have to play catch up with what now the majority of scientists believe in, well, then you're going to go back through and you're going to be, fanning through Scripture and trying to find that point rather than allowing the Scripture to speak to what the claim is. And so you don't always have to be playing catch up to science. Scientists sometimes need to be catching up to where the philosophy and theology is.
So stay the course.
That's right. Take a breath. It's fine. Just remember that they wanted to drill holes into people's heads long before they actually wanted to help people to root around in their brains or all the other various things that are now, feeling bumps on your head to see if you're going to be a criminal. That was in the realm of science.
The shape of your head or the size of your head or whatever.
That's right. So, now we can laugh at phrenology, but at the time, phrenology, they had measurements, they had head models, they had studies, they had peer-reviewed studies. So
physical evidence.
Yeah. Who are we to badmouth the science? So that's just where we need to be. And again, Christians shouldn't be poo-pooing science, but we should understand the authority claims that reside in making those claims.
All right. So first then, with regard to the authority and autonomy thesis, philosophy has just as much claim to have notions and theories of reality as science does. And we don't just automatically fold because there's a conflict, right? We need to wait and try to see how those issues are worked out. Secondly, he says methodological naturalism is the main thing that is keeping intelligent design from being taken seriously by scientists and educators. And of course, he's already said they are the gatekeepers, right, to knowledge in schools and so forth. And so sadly, scientists and educators are the gatekeepers for what cannot be taught, right, as science in the public schools and so forth. And so he says, as we have seen in this chapter, definitions of the nature of science, including arguments for and against methodological naturalism, are largely philosophical issues, not scientific questions, right? And thus philosophers, he's suggesting, should be the gatekeepers here. And the majority of philosophers of science agree that intelligent design theory or even creation science, using the Bible to formulate and test scientific models, are examples, notice, of science, even if those philosophers are atheists and don't believe that these theories are true, right? In other words, philosopher like Loudon, for instance, Larry Loudon says that, you don't attack them for not being science, you attack them for being false science or wrong science, is what he's suggesting. So even atheists hold that these notions are scientific theories, right? So again, we should not be bullied by scientists and educators who define science in such a way that only naturalistic explanations are allowed.
That's right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can take most scientists and educators, so we'll be good there.
Yeah.